Hi guys, welcome back to Canary Cast. Good to see you here again. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe and ding that notification bell to stay bang up to date. Right, there was no match reaction to Swansea, but we do feel like we need to say some things about Norwich at the minute. Yeah, I know it's a bit trouble in paradise. We're top of the league, but I think across most of the Norwich sphere, there's some frustrations with how things are going at the minute. Lack of goals being the main one at the moment. But Jacob wanted to get some stuff off your chest, didn't you, mate?
Yeah, I just thought like after Friday we were just not in the right headspace, where we don't want to rant and rave. It's not the way we want to go about things. We do just need to kind of look at it and think what's currently going wrong. Why are we kind of 4 games without a goal? I think it's the most worrying thing, considering how good we were a couple of years ago. What's not quite working at the minute. I think the glaring one's Emi Buendia, but yeah, we'll go into all that.
Yeah, there's a few topics to discuss. But let's start with the goals, Jacob, because that's 3 games without a goal now. Most of the blame so far has fallen at Teemu Pukki's feet. And whilst Teemu Pukki is one of the best players we've had in a long, long while, he's just not on form at the moment, is he?
Since Blackburn away, where I thought he's back. You know, this is the Teemu Pukki we love. He's working hard, he's bullying defences and scoring his opportunities. Look, full of confidence. He's just been missing. I just don't know. There's something missing there, which the movement's still there. The movement's excellent, isn't it? We talk about that all the amount of times we've talked about his movement is Premier League class, absolutely no doubt. And again, at Swansea, that movement created that opportunity for him. But 2 years ago, I expected him to, absolute minimum, force the keeper into a really good save, if not score. I know it's a tricky option or tricky effort, but for me, I've got that expectation of him. This year, there's something not quite right there. We said it at the back end of the Premier League season. He started all right, and like you said to me off camera, it's now coming in waves, isn't it? It's either good performances and then a bit of dross, let's be fair, and then good performances again, where the consistency is just not there from him.
I think we need to remember that the standard he set for himself 2 years ago was ridiculously high. There was a point in that season, what felt like for most of the season, where he was scoring a goal with every other shot. His standards were sky high, and you're right, it does now come in waves. He went missing for the back end of the Premier League season, as did most of the team, so fair enough. And then you thought earlier in this season, I remember we both had the conversation on camera as well, where we were saying we're starting to feel confident in him again. When he goes through on goal, you expect him to score like we did in that season 2 years ago. And there was a bit of that coming through a few months ago. It's just not there now. It's really not. But I think the discrepancy is so big between the standards he used to hold and what we're seeing now. And I think that's why we're making such a big deal of it.
The main issue as well is he's not really got suitable cover. I don't think Jordan Hugill covers him. I think Jordan Hugill is an alternative to him. I don't think, as we saw with Adam either, in a real harsh world, you probably hope he doesn't score that hat-trick against Preston, because the expectation's there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you think, okay, now he's championship level. Let's forget that's Preston's third choice goalkeeper a year ago now, and this lad needs to play. 19 years of age, and he looked really rusty when he came against Swansea. Whilst the bit of movement was there, I counted about 25 offsides from him, 27 bad touches, and you think realistically, mate, okay, that's me being harsh there, and I think he's got all the attributes. You know, he's massive. His frame is massive.
It's a tank. Yeah,
he can use all of that exactly, but he's not going to use that as a championship second fiddle forward. With currently, he needs to be playing in League One, like I've said so many times. Play for a top team, bang in a load of goals, be full of confidence, and then maybe a championship loan next season. But right now, he's not ready to be able to bang in 10 goals, which is realistically what we could need in the last 18 games to be able to propel us up.
Thinking back to the start of the season when we had Teemu, Jordan Hugill and Eder on the books. All right, Dermot as well. He's now gone out on loan, thankfully. But at the start of the season, I remember thinking that's enough. I was happy with that as our front line because we only play one striker. Now, we haven't lost any of those personnel. Yes, there have been injuries, and Hugill's now injured, and Eder's only now coming back. But at the start of the season, I thought that was enough. So why are we now sat here saying that it's not enough? Like, what's gone wrong with what we've brought in?
We argued this, though, didn't we? I argued this with you right at the start. I thought Eder should have gone out at the very start of the season, have a full season on loan. Again, just to get that confidence, just to get his own, like Tottenham have done with Ollie Skip. They could have kept him. They could have let him have the Europa League football and kind of bits and bobs in the Carabao Cup. But they've let him go because he wants to find his personal style, which he now has. He's played every single game, and he is perfectly ready for them next season now, regardless of whether we go up. We should have done exactly the same with Adam Eder. 30, 35 games. He could have got under his belt as a first choice forward in a top League One side, banged in 15 to 20 goals, which I don't think is beyond him whatsoever. And we would have come back and he would have been real full of confidence, ready to go next season. Now we've got a player who realistically for the last 2 years has not really played enough football, has had one promising performance in the FA Cup. What happens now?
Yeah, because it's stagnating a bit.
Exactly. Jordan Hugo's a good alternative. I think in certain games he's perfect. In other games you think we miss Teemu Pukki. It's just the way it is. But again, that's 2 forwards. So you're relying on that in a 46-game season where everything is coming to and fro very quickly in a unique COVID season. Teemu Pukki, who is not the same forward at the minute, he's knackered. The year to catch up with him, let's not forget he's 31 in March. I'm not completely writing him off. But I'm not expecting a massive revolution from him because 31 years old onwards, you're expecting only one way. Yeah, one. For me, you had to bring someone in. The champion, this January transfer window was the perfect opportunity for it. And if not that, then get in a number 10 who can then supply Teemu a hell of a lot better.
We'll talk about January because we want to talk about 3 positions. We've done striker. You just mentioned 10. We'll do that now. And then we're going to talk about left back. And then we'll talk about January and what we thought should have happened. So we've covered it already a bit on the channel, but the number 10 position is still a problem. We saw Kenny in it last game out. It was okay. Again, probably not the answer.
For the last 2 seasons, I think we can say we've had that issue. I think in the championship season, or championship title winning season, we saw Marco Stiepermann showed exactly what we need from a number 10. A bit of a big, gangly kind of man who can take people out of the game. And whilst he's had a really bad virus, apparently this season, you can't help that. To be fair, he's well off it, hasn't he? So that has obviously affected his game. We need to stop with the loyalties then. Okay, he's there for backup, but we need to bring someone in. Kieran Dow's not the player. I don't. This is the problem with the scouting, which we'll go on to later, but I'm bringing it in slightly now. I don't see how you see that player fitting into our system.
He's too much of a gamble. It's a risk.
The same with Plaheta, which, to be fair, I think he's a player. I think if you use him properly, I know you disagree. If you use him properly, his pace is such a key asset. In any league, if you have pace, you are a threat. I don't even care.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
Up against pace. If we played him properly, played it in behind, quickly, on the counter-attack, he would be so much better. His confidence is shot, by the way. Every time he doesn't want to take on the fullback now. He doesn't want to shoot. Doesn't really even look like he wants the ball, to be honest.
No.
That's because our system doesn't suit him. So you think, okay, I know our system or our transfer policy is taking gambles. But if you're looking at those 2 players just in particular, you're thinking, I don't see where they fit in. I don't see what their playing style thinks our scouts are going, yeah, he's the one.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that when we cover January. The last position, left back. This has been a bit of a head scratcher this season. Thinking back to the summer, it seemed like it was all worked out. You knew the hierarchy. You knew where the progression into the first team was for the likes of Sam McCallum, and maybe Rob Nize as well. And now it's all over the shop, in fairness. Thoughts on the left back situation?
I think you're spot on there. And I think that recently you could say probably, well, you can cancel the 2 Premier League windows. They weren't great. Championship one in the summer. How many have actually come good? 2, absolute max. If you're counting Ben Gibson and Jacob Sorensen, I'd say Jacob Sorensen's been admirable at left back. I wouldn't say he's been absolutely class. Mm-hmm. I'd say he's not actually fitted into the position he's purchased for. So again, I think he could come good, but we haven't seen him there.
Yeah.
To come really count him as a success. Ben Gibson 100% is.
Yeah,
no doubt. Yeah. But the rest, still question mark. And whilst I know there's time to grow, every single player at this club is brought in with a plan, not just for this year, but for future years ahead. For me, I don't see some of them really being fit and ready to go. And again, you've got to look at it and say, there's missed opportunities there. There's players that we've missed out on, which could have really pushed us up. And January's the big one for me. We had a chance to get a number 10 or a forward. We haven't done either. And now we look like we're stalling.
Yeah. But perhaps a barrier to bringing players in, if you like, is the amount of players that we need to lose. It's well documented. Dermich is now gone, of course, but we've still got Leitner hanging about. Tribal's still on loan at Blackburn, of course. Have we reached a point where the favourites from previous years, i.e. Stiepermann, Zimmerman, are we getting to a point now in what would be Daniel Parker's 4th season next year to just do we need to have a refresh? I know we talked about that in the summer after relegation from the Premier League, but it didn't really happen, did it?
No, I think it's difficult at the moment. I think you could have probably a bit of an excuse for the COVID situation where teams are not spend money loans, and that's probably where Norwich have struggled in terms of getting those off the books. Fair play to get damaged wherever you put him into Croatia, I think it is, isn't it? Or they've done very well to get rid of him because that is a big wage. I know we're paying still a hell of a lot of it, but yeah, you need that just completely gone. And like you say, it's just to remind you of that season where everything just kind of went wrong when it possibly could really. It's a difficult one, like you say. I think, like you say, it's 4 seasons Daniel Farke would have had by the end of this one, where the cycle normally
that is the cycle.
Last long, and that doesn't normally last this long. And for me, this is a huge opportunity because next year Stuart Webber leaves.
Yeah,
and that'll be his big thing. You have to go up this season. You need to. Ben Gibson will go somewhere else if we don't go up. Emi Buendia will be off.
Janulis.
Maybe Janulis as well. Yeah, there's a plan there, obviously for him, which is very weird to not get a Xavi Quintilla in or leave Xavi Quintilla out. Bring Janulis in if we don't actually go up. It just seems that there's a few things there that just are very reliant on us being a Premier League team next season.
Yeah, I completely agree. Okay, I think that probably leaves us with what's going to happen from here. What's the rest of the season got in store? I mean, we sat here now, Brentford and Swansea just below us in the table. They're close. They can overtake us. They've both got a game in hand. This time next week, are we going to be sat here in third place? What's going to happen? Where do we go?
So we've got 18 games left. In the grand scheme of things, 18 games, probably 10 wins, 5 draws, 3 losses, which this squad is more than capable of.
35 points, yeah.
More than capable of getting those wins. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind that they're with Emi Buendia in the side.
That's 90 points.
And that will more often than not get you up. Let's be fair. I think Brentford will run away with it now. You look at Ivan Toney, who is just absolutely scoring goals for fun. Harvey's dodging the screen. He's loving that.
He loves this.
You go, they are in a moment where it's not a fluke. I think they're about 19 games unbeaten. They'll win this league now for me, unless something goes wrong in terms of their squad depth isn't the biggest. Well, that's where we hold the advantage here. Squad depth and knowledge of knowing how to do it. So I think it'll be between us and Swansea currently. I wouldn't rule out the likes of Bournemouth if they get in a good coach. Watford probably don't score enough. Reading look good, but probably slightly too inexperienced for me.
Yeah.
But there's big games ahead. We have lost a lot of games against teams in the top 6, haven't we?
Yeah, that's my main concern. Like we're not going to get points out of those games. We haven't this season, and we're not going to. I can't see it happening.
You need everybody on fire, and that's the real kind of nitty gritty to it. We're relying far too much on a player who is far too good for this league, which is not sustainable. It's never sustainable because he will leave us eventually. If it's not this year, not this window, it'll be the next one. It really is going to come to a close where you think, crikey, we need to think of a plan where we can play without any idea, because 15 games, 1 win is ludicrous, really, isn't it? And it's not even the 1 win in 15 games, which isn't bad. We create nothing. We actually don't create anything.
In Middlesbrough, we didn't even have a shot on target.
No, against Millwall, it was slightly better. Teemu has that one chance. But we look like a bog standard championship side, and we're mid-table. It looks mid-table performances because these players there's no movement, there's no dictating of tempo anywhere. Mario sometimes does it when he comes on. Again, you can't rely on him because he's off in the summer. His contract's on. If we go up, I don't think we'll I don't think we'll use him again. So again, you've got to look at it, and you've just got a lot of similar players in that midfield. McLean, Skip, Rupp. I love Ollie Skip, and Lucas Rupp done very well this season. But like we said before, 35 yards out from goal onwards, they don't know what to do with it. They don't have that, which is fine. Not every player has that mindset. So okay, you need a Mario Brančić replacement, you need a Marco Stiefman replacement, and you need an Emi Buendia replacement. 3 huge players who have been pivotal to the last 2 championship seasons, we'll say, where we've been in and been successful. They're huge jobs we still have to do. And then next year, you have to get rid of Stuart Webber or look for a Stuart Webber replacement. Big.
That's the worst one. That's the worst one.
Whilst he's done very well at this club and given us massive successes, he'll want to be in the Premier League by the time he leaves.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing for him. And I think he'll be gunning for that. I think that's why we've got these kind of Ben Gibsons and these sort of players who are ready now to be ready to go in and give us that promotion launch pad to be able for him to say, I've left you in a better position.
Then I found you. Yeah, fair enough. Is there anything else you want to get off your chest?
There's not much anymore. We'll leave it for now. I think the grand scheme, people will be annoyed about the title, whatever, and say we are top. I know we're top. I know that technically I see us as third right now, because I expect Swansea and Brentford to win their games in hand. I just feel like we've stalled at a time when we didn't need to. We had that January window, which was perfect to stop that little stalling.
And bring in some more momentum as well.
Fresh faces give you that extra motivation. Look at Swansea O'Connor hands. I know it's not as simple as that, but you look at him, he has given them a huge... And he has done a job in our team. Those kind of players where you think, okay, we'll just snatch him quickly. I know it's quick fixes, but in this situation where, to be fair, it's promotion or bust, you kind of just need that little bit over the line to get you there. And at the minute, we look like we're struggling. Hopefully, Emmy comes back, looks back to his best, because I don't think he has since the new year, and we get over the line. But I think we've made it more difficult for ourselves than we needed to.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, let's leave it there, because we're probably running a bit over now. But thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what you think in the comments or over on Twitter, whatever you fancy. Just let us know what you're thinking. Are we overreacting, or have we got a point? Let us know in the comments. But yeah, until next time, take care. Cheers.